Hello, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 4. When we had last left off, we had just defeated the mini-boss of Yukigo's castle, so we're making progress.
Welcome home!
Does anyone else think it's a nice touch the way Nanako always says welcome home or welcome back? It always brings a smile on my face. You know, now that I think about it, I should probably just look up online which days the refrigerator has food in it so I don't waste everybody's time every single time we're there. I'm pretty sure we still have a fairly good amount of time left before Yukiko's deadline, but it's always a good idea to check, make sure. You really don't want to be surprised, let me tell you. To say that it is not a very good surprise would be a vast understatement, trust me.
Yo!
But at least we're finally starting to settle in a little bit here, get into a nice little cushy routine, albeit a somewhat deadly routine, but a routine nonetheless. But we should keep watching the forecast just in case. Ah yes, a nice feature for those of you like me out there who have somewhat subpar memory. This will remind you who you can go with social links with for that day. If they come from the right, it's a reminder. If they come from the left, they'll ask you if you'll show up. If you say yes, I think you get a boost toward your next level on social links, so it does help remembering who you can go with, but it doesn't obviously work if they're not in school. That'll become important later. I also think if you say yes, you're automatically taken to it. There's no running around, so that's important to keep in mind as well. But this is a Thursday, so we're off to basketball practice. I think I could have actually just walked outside the door and talked to Ko, but I didn't really think of it at the time. Ah yes, carefree sports time, made all the sweeter when you know one of your friends is in mortal peril. I'm sure she'll be fine. She's tough. Oh yeah, Aya is a restaurant I forgot to show you while I was in Northern, but Junes is cheaper. I don't really want to run all of his money out. Ah yes, for anyone interested, the musical notes you just saw, for lack of a better term, jumped out of his head there, are a kind of a score, how you're doing for this social event. Well, any social event really. 1 is alright of an answer, 2 pretty good, 3 they really liked your answer, so yay, yes. Oh my, it looks like dear Ko here might have a female admirer. He doesn't really seem all that happy about it. I mean, come on, dude. You put all that time into it, you're not happy about it? You know, I don't really mean to be mean here, but it's not often you see a female get friend-zoned. While that's nice of him to ask, it just doesn't really seem right. No thanks,
What?
dude, but that's okay. You poor dumb idiot. Yeah, I'd prepare to see a lot more of these kinds of screens. Thankfully, they don't really go on that long, but, just a word of warning, get used to it. Yeah, I'm trying to not rush through the text as much anymore. It's a little difficult. I read really fast, so yeah, hopefully that's a little better for you guys out there. I really hope he was over dramatizing there. Okay, I don't know if that's just funny or sad, but alright.
Alright, let's go home.
Thank you for that oddly specific bit of information there, Nanako. Now, I'm sure some of the more observant people out there might be wondering, why are you studying again? Don't you get like a full week break before exams to study without social links coming up? Yeah, don't do that. Cramming doesn't work in real life that well, and it doesn't really work that well here, so it's better to do slow and steady in regards to knowledge in this. No, not really. I was up all night studying. Thanks for the concern, though. Well, let's see. As far as events go, we have the cultural clubs coming up, I believe April 25th, was it? Something like that. So, we don't really have a whole lot to do at this point, except... guess what we're gonna do, gang? We're gonna go train again.
Yeah!
But before we irresponsibly rush headlong into danger, we have some shopping to do. Probably wouldn't be a very good thing to be stuck in a dungeon with no way out, with no SP. Usually not a good thing to have no escape plan in my experiences. Besides, we got a lot of crap to sell here from all that training before, so hopefully we should at least get something good out of all this. Yeah, this is pretty annoying if you have a lot of stuff. Thankfully, he only had 2 this time, but I've had upwards of 5 or 6 items in a row and hearing clang, clang that many times in a row. That'll drive a guy nuts. Well, both of these are upgrades. One's for Yosuke, one's for me, and anybody knows me, I'm a little selfish in video games. It's mine. Normally I try and only shop here when it's raining due to the discounts, and it's a pretty good discount, but I kind of need supplies rather badly, so I'm willing to pay for that luxury. I want some escape plans and some restoratives like Dokudami tea. See, these are the small details that'll kill you if you forget them later. Trust me, I know all about that. I do wonder why she doesn't really want to go home, though. Yes, I'll bite. I'll ask again. Why don't you want to go home, little girl? Alright, fine. None of my business anyway. I guess it's rude for asking. And let's be a dick this time. No, that's not really interesting at all. Anyway, we're just about ready to go back into TV world.
All right, let's go.
But before we get going into the action and all that, we gotta do something very important. We've gotta get more powerful personas. On a completely unrelated note though, this music is really relaxing. Before we get fusing though, it's always a good idea to register your persona in case you want them back in the future. You don't really want to lose them forever. Anyway, now that that's done, we can actually do what we came here for. This is the fusing screen. You can choose one persona, and all the names on the right are what you can create. For example, Kusith here. It is pretty much up to the individual player. You can spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to do. I myself spent forever, so I'll see you in a second. Eventually, I decided to fuse Izanagi with Angel for the reason that Ouroboros has Agi. Agi is really nice to have in the early going. One thing to note though, the specific skills in red are what it's inheriting from its parents. You can change that by canceling and then going back, as you see Patra is there now, but that's something to keep in mind if you want to have a certain skill inherited to a certain persona. I did kind of want to keep Patra though, so it wasn't really the greatest of examples, but it's something to keep in mind if you're playing the game yourself. And since we have a 1 in Magician, you get basically 1 level. It doesn't scale 1 level for 1 social link though, but it does give increasing amounts of experience, so always nice to have higher social links. A big piece of advice I can give for early game, you want as many different types of attacks as you can get. Garu, Agi, Bufu, all of them. You basically want one of everything so you have weakness for whatever you're facing. We're finally ready to go. As per the usual, folks, I'll be right back. So, see you in a second.